The Engage Super League season reached its climax in front of a record 72,000 crowd at Old Trafford. What a match it promised to be.
There's never been a bigger crowd for a grand final, and I don't think it has ever been as loud as this either. The entrance alone is enough to make the knees weaken. It is a fantastic atmosphere in Old Trafford tonight. Hard to believe this is only the 9th grand final. It has now become such an established piece of theatre at the season's end. St Helens, with the obvious exception of long-term casualties, Paul Sculthorpe, are at full strength. Their bench players, James Roby and Maury Farcivalou especially, could have a big impact. The Holborn Horn brothers, Richard at scrum half, Graham on the bench, have both come through injury scares to play in this Hull's first ever grand final. Carl Kirkpatrick is our referee tonight. And the ball has fallen over. Not exactly the nerve-free start that Sean Long would have wanted. Well, week in, week out, they have been the best two teams all season. But who's it going to be in this, the grand final analysis?
Well, I don't think you can predict at this point in time, David, but what you can predict is a game full of great defensive work, a game full of outstanding skill and immense commitment. I'm sure it's going to be a cracker.
Well, Old Trafford is packed to the rafters tonight, 73,000 in here. It's a bigger crowd than watched England's footballers the other week, and they are making a noise.
Oh, it's sensational. The atmosphere is unbelievable. But the players have got to put that out of their mind. They've just got to play control rugby league despite the pressure, and it's Hull making a good foray there into the St Helens half.
Six tackle, Swain picks it up, so Cook, whose kicking game is going to be so important tonight, just jags it into the corner. That's a good start. That's a terrific kick from Paul Cook, putting them really under pressure right from the start there.
Well, that's the first man-out point there for the Hull FC side. They've got great go forward, Gareth Carvell prominent, but what a super kick from Paul Cook, and what a great left-sided chase. Saints under pressure.
And they've dropped the ball, although the referee, yes he has, he's given it as a knock-on. Francis Melly trying to bring it clear. Well, there might have been an arm in there.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain there was there. Gareth Carvell is tested the referee there, and he's got away with it. But it matters not, that's the decision. It's Hull head and feet after that great first set and great kick chase.
Well, what an opening 90 seconds then this has been for Hull. Can they turn it into something even better as Richard Hall just tests out the early resolve of that St Helens defence? It's going to be Carvell now who can drive it in. He'll be on the plane, of course, with the Great Britain tourists off for the Tri-Nations. Just about 24, 48 hours time. It's Briscoe who pops it back inside for Yeoman. Anderson with an important touch.
Well, I think Paul Anderson feels it knocked it backward here. He did pretty well getting between Kurt Yeoman and the supporting Shane McMenemy. And for me, Paul Anderson did knock it back.
He's given the knock-on against Hull.
Well,
how's he given that?
I don't know he's got that, but I think justice was done. But it's some great work there by Paul Anderson, getting between the man who made the break, Kurt Yeoman, and the support player, Shane McMenemy.
This is ferocious pressure that St Helens are under in these early stages, and Paul Anderson trying to make an impression, but getting hit by 2 or 3 defenders. Look at this, that's great enthusiasm, isn't it?
It's great enthusiasm, it's great technique as well. This Hull side, they really can get themselves up for the big occasion, as they proved last year in the Challenge Cup, and they're really ready to play tonight.
St Helens struggling to get away from their own territory. Cunningham on the 5th tackle is hauled down, so here comes Long on the 6th. Briscoe has to turn and chase. It is not a bad kick from Sean Long.
That's an excellent piece of rugby league from Sean Long, because it really, St Helens were on a sideline there. He got into dummy half, so there could be no kick pressure, and got the kick away deep into Hull territory.
They are 2 exemplary defences, aren't they? Peter Sharp has drilled Hull well. St Helens this season have really improved their defensive line too.
They really have. There's an added steel to St Helens. I think the adversity of last year, when they failed to reach the grand final and also failed to reach the Challenge Cup final, has added to that.
Carvell is put down.
Stand up square. Stand square.
That was tackle 4. There are still 2 to come. Sway darts from dummy half. Cook has to stretch and reach. Lyon was there. Ball went backwards. Play on, says the referee. Here comes Yeeman. Inside track from Rayner. Well watched by Aidy Gardner. Hull get a bit of momentum working in their favour here. 6th tackle. It's Cook again now. Back to the middle and Hall. They are moving it wide. Washbrook with a kick downfield. It should be easy for Wellens to take, but Watt's facing him, although the ball rolls out of play, and it'll be a tap back on the 20.
That was great presence of mind there from Paul Wellens. Hull FC had moved the ball there, and it was a kick from 3 passes, but Paul Wellens there missed a cool himself.
Go on! Stand up! Wait.
Man of Steel this year, of course, Paul Wellens, and Players Player of the Year amongst his peers.
2! Clear!
Daniel Anderson was Coach of the Year. St Helens have won 2 of the trophies on offer so far. They are looking tonight to make it a clean sweep.
Make it!
Cunningham waits at dummy half. Here's Gilmore. St Helens is standing still at the moment.
Yeah, they need to generate some forward momentum, don't they? Because this Hull defence is winning the collision at the minute, and their speed of line is exceptional.
Here's Long. It's Leon Price, ball back inside for Wellens, who was slipping as he took possession. Easy tackle for Dowse to make. 6th tackle again. Long's kick.
Good kick as well, Dave.
Briscoe. Now Rayner. Can he escape from this little area?
Go on! Stand up!
Yeah, they've just clawed their way back into the game with St Helens, but they're very disappointed with that, and they'll feel things are going against them a little, because Gareth Carvell got away with handing at the ruck, but Paul Anderson certainly hasn't done, and the referee got it spot on there.
Playing his last game tonight, of course, Paul Anderson, before he retires for the world of coaching.
Down you go!
He'll be joining Huddersfield next year.
Wait!
Here's Swain with a tap. McMenemy.
Surrender! Hold!
Here's Swain again now. Not looking to probe from this halfway point. Carvell.
2!
I think Hull are a very good team, you know, when Gareth Carvell is on the field, because it really does take some putting down for a big man. He's got useful hands as well.
The Australians and the New Zealanders might find him a bit of a handful too in the upcoming Tri-Nation series. Here's Swain dashing away with Carvell to his left, but he tried to fool them. Carvell now is back at dummy half. Here's Cook. It's with Horn. Horn delayed the pass. Good play from Hull. Horn puts the kick through. Melly has it covered, but he has to take the safety first option and put it out of play. It'll be a drop out from underneath the sticks.
Some lovely little interplay here with the passing. It looked as if the ball was going behind the man, but Richard Horn, his soft hands there, just put the man through, and it was on the inside for the 1-2 receive back, and then decided to put boot to ball, and Francis Melly had no option. That man knows they're under pressure.
They have been a few times this season, those St Helens, and they've weathered it well. It's going to be Dowse who will lead the drive for Hull. Big hit up by him.
Hold on! Clear!
Here's Swain. Just having a look down that blind side and not finding too much room at the moment. They come back to the middle again. Here's Horn. Behind the line to Cook. Over the top. That's a terrific pass. Here comes Rayner. Rayner for the corner. Flag went down. Ball went down. Question is, in what order? Is this a try? Referee has asked the question, squares in the air. It's up to Steve Presley, the video referee, from here.
Well, what a great finish this is from Gareth Rayner. Do what all good wingmen should do, go low, but I think is out of bounds. It's a great effort there from Rayner. Look how low he goes there to try and find the goal line. But his leg, I believe, is over the sideline. But I think Gareth Rayner will be claiming he got the ball down. But it's a great piece of cover defence. Jamie Lyon, known for his offensive skills. There is a great cover tackle, and I think it should be no try.
No try. Jamie Lyon, terrific tackle with the help of Wellens. Hull are denied. But boy, were they close.
What a marvellous pass, wasn't it, from Paul Cook as well. Just watch this money volley. He sees the St Helens defence coming up and in. He goes over the top there, creates half a chance for Gareth Rayner, who almost takes it. Valiant effort from the wingman, but great cover defence from Lyon and Wellens.
Well, that's the first moment of high drama, but the scoreline remains at 0-0. Here's Price. Paul Cook's vision there was something which Hull will be depending on as the night goes on. The ball has been lost by Wilkin. It is a knock-on, despite the claims from the St Helens players that there was a hand in there.
It was one-on-one anyway, and I just think he was tackling him there, Lee Trafford. I think he's got it right. In all honesty, Peter Sharp and the whole coaching staff, they will know for certain that St Helens are reeling under pressure. They're like a boxer on the ropes and really reeling.
9 minutes of the first half played, and it has been so far. Advantage Hull FC. Kirkpatrick's not happy with the scrum down.
No, he isn't.
No. Before we go any further, I'm in charge today, unfortunately for you two. All right, and I'm going to stay in charge. All right.
He's a man for the one-liners, is Carl Kirkpatrick, the referee.
And
Paul Anderson sees the funny side.
And Carvel stood out of the scrum.
Here comes Horn. They're trying to create something here through Motu Tony. It's with Yeaman. Just dragged to ground, but 19 yards away. Back with Tony again. Now it's Briscoe. He'll step into the line, and he's clattered by Cunningham and Anderson.
Well, they've certainly come here to play, haven't they, the Hull FC side.
Swain helps it away to Horn again. Oh, Tony slipped just at the crucial moment, and it's handed possession back to St Helens.
And that's the first error that Hull FC have made, and that was the fault of the footwear rather than any skill breakdown.
St Helens have been given a bit of a let-off here. It's on by Hooper.
They cannot get forward, David. Hull are winning the collision, they're winning the floor in the tackle, and that's preventing St Helens playing the ball quickly, which is what their game is all based upon.
Well, twice these two sides have conjured up absolutely titanic battles this season. Looks as though this might be something similar as Long puts the kick downfield. The chaser is onside, Francis Melly, so Briscoe has to be sharp, and is. He's done well. Melly just about got his hands to him in the end.
Yeah, it was a good tactic there from Sean Long, and a great chase from Francis Melly, making up in part for his earlier error.
No room for Domick. Well, now it's Hull's turn to toil, close to their own line. Rayner. Well, 4 tackles gone already, and they really are struggling to get away here. Here's Dowes, looking for the go forward, but not finding too much of it. The next will be the 6th, so it's going to be the boot of Cook again, under pressure from Hooper, but he did get it away.
Yeah, but the reward of that pressure, David, is the fact that Aidy Gardner's received the ball and the tackle is on the halfway line. Great work from Jason Hooper. It's little things like that that go unnoticed, but are so important.
Here's Long. Now Wellens.
Surrender!
I see St Helens already made one interchange, David. They've brought Mari Fasavalo on, obviously to generate some go forward, and Paul Anderson's having his first spell on the bench.
Whenever Fasavalo has come on this season, he has made an immediate impact. Yet to see him get the ball so far, but won't be too many seconds before he's in possession. Here's Wellens. Lyon.
Good tackle there from Yeaman. He knows how important it is to keep Jamie Lyon intact there, and he's forced the error.
Well, it was untidy at the play of the ball. St Helens have given away the scrum. He just lost it.
Yes, he did. Correct decision from the referee.
Yeah.
But a marvellous one-on-one tackle, wasn't it, from Kirk Yeaman, who was obviously in the Great Britain side, so he may well find himself up against Jamie Lyon with in the green and gold colour, and Kirk Yeaman in the red, white and blue of Great Britain.
And that might be in about 3 weeks' time.
Well, one. Hold. Wait. Hold.
Good muscular defence there, wasn't it, from Fasavalo?
Here's Radford.
2.
Making inches, really, rather than yards. Swain. Carvel. Cut back inside, but read by the Saints' defence.
Well, I sense that St Helens have just upped the intensity a little in defence.
McMenemy. 3. St Helens defenders acting as the waiting committee. Peter Sharp looks on, and he's looking rather nervous at the moment as
They'll continue to crab their way forward and find themselves on the sixth tackle here. So again, it'll be a big boot downfield, moved wide.
20.
Pressure once again, and that pressure has allowed Paul Wellens to catch the ball on the fly. They're clawing the way back in, you know, St Helens.
13.5 minutes played. It remains scoreless in this grand final between the side that finished top of the Super League tree, St Helens, and the side that was just below them, Hull.
Stand up, make it.
Consistently, they have been the best two teams all season. But it's all about what happens on the night. And mistakes like that, although it's gone backwards, the referee has decided, and it means that Willie Tallow was able to carry it on a stride or two.
Well, a little fortunate there, St Helens, but great defence once again that forced that error. That really was a defensive win.
Long to Wellens, quickly they move it wide. Here comes Jamie Lyon again, trying to use his footwork to get past Newman, but the Hull centre hung on. This is the last. Long, little dab kick over the top. Cook read it, went backwards. Briscoe had it covered. Cook was in the way of Price. Made it an easier pickup for Sean Briscoe.
Yeah, an intelligent play, wasn't it, from Paul Cook there? He dropped out of the defensive line, reading that chip kick, and it helped Sean Briscoe out. Again, that's another little thing that people don't notice, but it's so important.
Here comes Yeoman. Just threatening to get his winger away, Gareth Rayner. This is Rayner.
Well, they'll need a central position here, Hull, so they've got a good position for kicking the ball.
Carvel offloads to Horn.
But they won't want Richard Horn tied up in the tackle because he's one of the kickers.
Cook has taken up his position though. It'll be funneled to him now.
Give him 10.
Decent bounce. Just made it a little difficult for Eddie Gardner. He's lost a stride or two. And it just gives the Hull chasers another couple of seconds to make up a little more ground and keep his forward momentum to a minimum.
Well, it's been a fascinating opening 15 minutes or so, hasn't it, David? It really has, and it's been like the old, you know, they call it, don't they, an arm wrestle now, and it really has. There's been St Helens exerting pressure, then Hull, but I believe that there's a penalty, and that's the first time Hull have piggybacked St Helens out of their danger area. And that might be a big penalty there, given away by Danny Washbrook. See there, hand in at the play of the ball. And he does reef it out, and well done, Mr. Kirkpatrick.
Just to give a translation of John Keir's piggyback there, it means they've given St Helens a penalty, which means they can get much further downfield than they would have done carrying the ball in hand. It's a lot easier to say piggyback, really, isn't it?
It is.
Here's Cunningham, dummies to Long, tries to carry on the run. He's well met. Hooper got, as a dummy runner, was crashed into there as well and has stayed down injured. Might be a problem. Here's Price.
Yeah, he's been playing very well as well, Jason Hooper. But Leon Price, I'm expected to exert a bigger influence on the game as it progresses.
Along with the soft hands and the short pass, but Kalis is caught. Hooper's back to his feet, but he's just hobbling a little. Long now with a kick to the corner. Briscoe's after it. It's going to be a touchdown now. Francis Mellick flies in. Carl Kirkpatrick points the finger. St Helens have first blood. Opening try of the night, and it was Francis Mellick. Wonderful kick to the corner from Sean Long. And his winger had all the pace to do the rest, to chase in and score. And St Helens are up and running. Good finish by Francis Mellick.
And there's the penalty from Danny Washbrook that allowed St Helens to start the set of six in attacking position. But look at that for a piece of skill. Absolutely perfectly executed from Sean Long. And Francis Mellick's part in that is superb. Stays onside, then really puts the hammer down to beat Motu Tony and ground the ball for a marvellous, marvellous first try of this grand final.
That was the minute. Time off.
Francis Mellick, St Helens hero, as he has been a few times this season.
Got him stayed, yeah.
When Jeremy Lyon arrived at St Helens, he wasn't expecting to taking over the kicking duties, but this season alone he's landed 127 goals. It's a terrific record from what is a terrific player all round. There's a big noise in his ears as Lyon steps up to try and hook it on the inside of the post. He's just missed it. He fails to convert, but St Helens lead by 4 points to 0.
Yeah, Francis Miller will be very, very pleased after that earlier error. But this is super work. He stayed onside. He's beaten Motu Tony for speed. And he gets there and safely grounds the ball. An exquisite piece of skill from Long and marvellously finished by the New Zealand international Francis Miller.
Big kick downfield is an easy take for Helens. Helens leads the charge.
Make it.
Vassavalu chopped off just below the knees, which is the place you really need to tackle him.
It certainly is, and I'm sure they'll have been practicing that, working very hard from marker and chopping him down from the knees, and the other man coming over the top to wrap the ball. But it's an early kick in the tackle count from Sean Long. It's gone for a 40-20.
It's going to be a big kick, this. Oh, it just stays in. Briscoe just had it covered. Another bounce, and that would have been phenomenal. As it is not bad. Whole start from there.
Again, a great piece of skill from Sean Long with a kick, but also from Sean Briscoe, because if you kick a ball from within your own 40-metre territory and it bounces and goes into touch within 20 metres of the opposition goal line, you get head and feet at the scrum, so you get the ball back. So that was very important by Sean Briscoe.
Just had a look at the stopwatch, by the way. 20 minutes played. Where did that go? Absolutely flown by so far, as Hull again toil in their own territory. Radford. Couple of steps, but no more. And already they're on the sixth tackle. So back it goes to Horn this time. Hooper with a run.
And look where he's catching the ball, David. That's great work in defence from St Helens, because this is really an attacking set of 6 now from the Saints.
Helens, the full-back, is up in the line here. Lyon on his outside, but he decided to continue his arcing run with ball in hand. This is Long. Kalis. Just grabbed up by Washbrook. Still managed to get it away again to Hooper.
Wait.
Cunningham.
Stand square.
Price. He has been so good for St Helens in that kind of position, and he almost opened things up again there for Wilkin, who just had his way trapped. It's Long, almost through. Used the run of Vassavalu as a dummy, and it almost proved good. Back to Helens again now. Out to Lyon. Lyon up to the line. Bit of a jiggle by him. Gardner popped back to Helens again. Here's Gardner once more. This is good from St Helens. Gilmore. A wall of black and white ahead of him. This is Lyon. Lyon will kick, knowing that they might be stretched on that far side. Not back by Melly. Here comes Talau. He's just overcooked the kick, and it's out of play for a tap back on the 20. But that was such typical St Helens play.
Oh, it was a real exciting passage of play there. I think Francis Melly will be disappointed after all that hard work that Willie Talau didn't execute his piece of skill that little bit better, but very, very enterprising play on the last tackle.
Difficult ball for Cook to take, but he just about managed to keep hold. Here's Swain again. Cook back to the middle, and King, who's on from the interchange bench, and sign of the confidence, a pop forward running into the line, suddenly decides to pass the ball.
Yeah, and the good passes as well, because the soft hands and the pulling players out of the defensive line.
Oh, good play, Washbrook. Great offload by him. Here comes Horn. Horn gets it onto Briscoe. Briscoe with a step that's left Helens flailing. Wilkin got back to make a big tackle.
That was a very important tackle from John Wilkin, but great play from Hull FC. They've got the Saints stretch.
Here they come. Cook with a delayed pass. Yeaman, good tackle on him. Gets it back to McMenemy. McMenemy cannot find a way through. It's called sixth tackle here. So it's hey lads, hey, as Horn tries to put the kick through it. It's back to one.
Yeah, rightly so.
Decides that Vassavalu played at that.
I think he did play it. I think he used his foot there, played at the ball, and Riley's given Hull another set of 6 in great field position.
This is where composure is required. Having got there, can they now execute? Here's Washbrook back inside. It's taken on by Dowes. Anxious moments for all those who watch. Nervous for those who take part as King tries to just push his way through.
Break the line. Come on, Kieran.
Both sets of fans lifting the noise. Horn, couple of dummies from him, none of them taken. Lyon in with a shoulder. Puts him down, 6 tackle again, familiar territory. It's Cook, puts it high. Who's going to get out there? It's taken by Tony. McMenemy, back again! It's touchdown! It's going to count! Sid Domick, great play by Hull, and Sid Domick has levelled things up. The black and whites are in raptures. It's all square again. We've taken our hats off to St Helens, but this time it was Hull FC who showed terrific creativity to unpick that St Helens defence.
Yeah, this is the break there that gave Hull the field position. Lovely play from Horn there. Sean Briscoe's always pushing up, and what a tackle from John Wilkin. That diffused that situation, but the field position had been created for Paul Cook to put a high kick on. Francis Melly made the decision to let Motu Tony take that ball, but then Motu Tony was really well with the offload, and Shane McMenemy alert as ever, and then it was him who put the ball out to Sid Domick for the important try. But the decision was made there, let Motu Tony have the ball, but that's two great pieces of skill that created the opportunity for Domick, and boy doesn't he like it.
He wasn't sure, he is now. Well, I think the neutrals will say that's a good moment for the game, because had St Helens scored again, maybe they might have begun to dominate, but Hull back level keeps this as a terrific contest.
I'll tell you, Dave, you spoke about Jamie Lyon as a goal kicker. The fella out there, Paul Cook, he can kick some goals, and he can kick some goals under pressure.
Paul Cook, son of Hull, knows what this occasion means to his side and his side supporters. Always hit the post. Can't get closer without putting it over, can you? And it remains all square at 4 apiece, thanks to Domick's try. It's exactly as we expected it to be.
Yeah, I think the scoreboard reflects the game. It's been nip and tuck, call it whatever you want, but it's been very exciting, and you just haven't been able to draw breath.
Wondered why you were going blue.
I don't know how the players will be feeling, but the tension, it's absolutely immense in this stadium, it really is.
Well, Old Trafford has grown and grown over the years, and this occasion has grown and grown over the years, and as a result we've got a terrific venue, a terrific atmosphere, and a game to match them both. King clattering in. This is Swain. Graham Horn, who's had his injury problems this week, just like older brother Richard Horn, but they are both fully fit. There's Dowes. Swain just dummied to his left and went right. Here's McMenemy. How underrated is Shane McMenemy, by the way?
Well, I'll tell you, David, in big games, Shane McMenemy comes out with big plays. He did it in the Challenge Cup final at Cardiff with that kick, and then forced header from Calderwood, which Paul Cook scored from the resulting set. And then what's he done there? He provided the pass for Sid Domick to go over in the corner.
That's a poor kick, though, by Richard Horn, because it is right into the chest of Paul Wellens. And he's able to bring it back to, what, 30 yards from his own line? It's not a bad place for St Helens to start this set of 6. Here's Long at acting half. Graham is on from the bench. He's had a terrific season, James Graham. A youngster who's really made his mark this year. Cunningham's short pass to Fasavalu. 28 minutes played. 4 apiece. Cunningham. Gilmore, half through, Lyon, watch him go, has a look around, no support, and he expected the winger to be there, and he threw in blind hope, and he has a look around now as if to say, Aidy Gardner, where did you go?
Well, the winger should have been there. Lyon pushed up, Aidy Gardner didn't. You see there, he was waiting for the next play. If he would have pushed up with Lyon, it'd have been on his shoulder, and that definitely is a gilt-edged chance, and that fella knows it.
So does he. Big night for Jamie Lyon, big night for everyone, but Jamie Lyon, of course, playing in his last game as a St Helens player tonight before he returns back to Australia. This is Dominic. McMenemy again. Oh, that's a good ball. That's a good ball. And suddenly they're on the way. Horn steps past Helens. Recovery from Cunningham.
They're just splitting them out now. Both teams out there. There's one or two very slightest of gaps opening up. But when you've got the deft hands and the skill on display that these two teams have, you'll make the breaks.
First wind is just coming to the final few breaths, I think. Might be a minute or two before either side gets its second wind, so there is an element of fatigue in both sides now. Here's Horn. Out it goes to McMenemy with the offload. Dominic helps it on its way again. Motu Tony has to scamper back in from that far touchline side. Briscoe met by a firm tackle from Gilmore. This will be the sixth. Do they think about drop goals at this stage?
Not at all, no. They'll keep the pressure on.
Horn slides it behind. It's an easy take for Gardner, but there's no real room for him to run into. This is long. Helens.
Stand up! Stand up!
Slow to his feet. Hooper just trying to put a few hard yards together. It's not really his game, that is it? Clattering it forward, but had to do a job there. 4 tackles gone, 2 to come in this set at the moment. Cunningham. Long will kick at this relatively early stage. Gareth Rayner's back. Graham had led the charge. There are plenty of support players with him, including Bennett, who's made the tackle.
You need support players as well when Gareth Rayner gets the ball, because he really has got twinkling feet.
Dominics hammered it in. Here comes Briscoe, the fullback, up at dummy half, and just going to test the resolve again of that St Helens line. James Roby about to come on. That could be a big moment. James Roby, what an impact he's made at times this season.
He's a very strong player, is Roby, and he's been instrumental in St Helens' success. But lovely little inside ball, but just the defence won that one. Right down the belly of the player, the ball, the ruck there. That's what they're trying to open. You see the inside ball from Swain to Cook, and then the player pushing up, but all credit to James Graham. He read that superbly well. Just watch him work from the opposite side of the play, the ball, and he forced that header with some great defence.
Let's go, heads in, Jason.
Here's along with a feed. It's Leon Price.
Well, interestingly, Richard Whiting on the field, David, with 10 minutes to go to half-time, and they put Sid Dominic into the second row, so an interesting tactic from Peter Sharp.
And in the other ranks, Roby is now on, and you'll see him. Cunningham is the man he's replaced. Cunningham takes his place on the bench, and there's Roby straight away in the action, running from dummy half, and just with that sprightly step, we'll see plenty of that in the next few minutes.
He certainly will, and when Cunningham re-enters the fray, they play virtually with 2 dummy halves, do St Helens.
That's Wilkin, who's had a quietish game so far tonight, John Wilkin. He had a big Challenge Cup final, of course. There's Graham with the offload. Helens back to Long, spreads it wide to Lyon. Lyon with the pace, off to Gardner. Gardner closed down. What a tackle by Briscoe. That was huge, absolutely huge.
Well, sometimes you earn your money in attack, and sometimes, my word, you earn your money in defence, and those fans appreciate that defensive effort from that guy, Sean Briscoe. Beautiful work from Jamie Lyon, created half chance, but look at that wallop and get into touch. Great work here. Look at Lyon, he gets on the outside of Kurt Yeaman, sucks Gareth Rayner in then, but that ball and all tackle was worth the admission money on its own. Superb work from Briscoe.
Call it the smother tackle, don't they? He missed the Challenge Cup final, of course, last year with appendicitis, didn't he? Which was a bit of a blow for what was then your whole side.
Well, 36 hours before the kick-off he was playing, David, and then 24 hours he was being operated on. So that's the ill luck that Sean Briscoe had, but he's certainly making up for it tonight with his work in the grand final.
Here's King. Hull again having to work hard here just to get themselves away from this real danger zone. They've got another 2 tackles, one of which they'll run and then they'll kick. It's Swain trying to prise them open. Back it goes to Horn. Again the runner from Wilkin this time, putting pressure on, but Horn did well to get it away. And it's caught on that far side by Francis Melly, who finds 3 waiting for him. 7.5 minutes to play in this first half. Who's been the most inspirational player tonight? Who's had the most impact, would you say, so far in this game?
I think it's difficult to call because I think there's been some great performances. I thought Carvel was magnificent when he was out there. And I think Jamie Lyon has been half creating chances. So there's been massive contributions from everybody who's been out on the field. But the most important contribution, David, has yet to come.
Here's Bennett. It's got to be one tonight, of course. We're going to extra time if it is all square at the end of the game. But that's an awful long way away. Here's Wellens. Good hands from St Helens now. Price. Talau. Well read by Motu Tony, who got in to make the initial tackle, and it just slowed things down. And now St Helens are on the 6th. So Long has a look and thinks about the kick and puts it high. And boy, is it high. Rayner. Well, it was knocked on in the first instance by Gardner, and it'll be Hull's head and feet at the scrum.
Good decision there by the referee. Look how he soared into the air, though, Eddie Garner, trying to catch it like an Australian rules player's, arms outstretched, but the pressure was too much from Rayner and Yeaman. And there's Kieran Cunningham just having a breather.
Paul Anderson back on the field as well now. John Wilkin is the man he's replaced, so there'll be a bit of extra power up front for St Helens, provided by the big man.
Yeah, I think that's to generate the go forward, isn't it? They've left James Graham out there as always a prop but can play back row, and that's what he is doing. So, and they've also got Paul Anderson out there.
All trying to pick their way downfield. Scott Wheeldon to his feet. Here's Cook. Cook with a high ball again. How ambitious is that? And Long slipped, and here comes Rayner. Lyon just searched him out and made the tackle. Copybook.
He's clever, isn't he, Paul Cook? He read the up and in defence there, and he just put it right over the top and left Rayner with a bit of space. And that ain't a bad kick from him either. Great chase from Richard Horn.
Oh, it is. Wellens let it bounce, and that was a mistake. Horn. Terrific by him. Domics hurt himself in making the tackle as well. But St Helens will have to start from behind their own dead ball line. What a moment this might prove to be.
Yeah, Paul Cook not happy with the challenge there from Hooper. As he kicked the ball, he's claiming that he tried to take him out, but Hooper may well have been committed. But the end result is a goal line dropout, which I'm sure Paul Cook will be delighted with. And he'll be important if he goes on just before half-time, you know, because he's given them great go forward.
5 minutes before the break, and it's slight advantage to Hull here. 4-4 on the scoreboard, but 5 tackles from here for Hull to hammer this St Helens line. What can they do? Here it comes to King. Little step back on the inside from Graham Horn. Had his shirt pulled, then offloads despite the attempted tackle from Graham. Cook thought about going between his legs and then decided that he'll leave the circus acts alone for the moment. Washbrook tried to go alone, then looks for the offload, gets it away well. Briscoe with the pace, head down and tried to dive beneath them, but stopped by Bennett. Swain, Cook, now it's Richard Horn. Horn with plenty on the outside, tried the step, ran into Gilmore and Robic. Just holds things up for a moment. It's Cook again, whose influence is growing. Swain tried to put the foot down, but Bennett was there to make the tackle again. Here comes the 6th. Yeaman, little kick, and not the best. Picked up by Wellens, and Wellens can hurry it away.
Well, they'll be disappointed with that, the Hull FC side, because Paul King went to dummy half. I don't think he realised it was the last tackle and gave it to Kurt Yeaman, and Yeaman forced really, headed into that kick, and it was a nothing kick and easily diffused by St Helens, and I think the coach agreed with me there, Dave.
He was asking the question what happened, wasn't he? This is Anderson. Direct and strong as ever from Paul Anderson. Big career he's had. Leon Price.
Knock on.
Well, the referee's not seen it that way.
Well, I thought that he was going to the whistle then, but he didn't.
Here comes the 6th, so Price is just looking for a kick that will put Hull on the back foot. But
that's a clever kick.
Bounces nicely for Briscoe. Now, there's a bit of a gap if he can get on the outside of Graham, but it was a big if, because Graham made a good tackle.
He did, and it was a clever kick, wasn't it, from Leon Price down the short side.
No knock on, as the replay showed. Here's Swain. Oh, and that will be penalty St Helens. Well, he played that ball forward.
He did, yes.
You can't do that.
No.
And he's really got away with that. and Hull have got away with it too. And
Well,
now they have a penalty.
They really have now.
Well, Hooper can't believe it, but look at this. That went forward.
Yeah, that was an illegal play, the ball from Motu Tony. They have got away with it, and especially when you compound it with the grapple tackle from Jason Hooper, who went high there. And do you know, with 2 minutes to go, I'm sure that Mr. Cook and Mr. Horn are fully aware of the time, and they may well take 1 point.
It's getting to that time, isn't it? Penalty that just reached its destination.
No, they won't.
Obstruction, they untidily ran across each other. It was the two brothers as well, wasn't it? Graham and Richard.
Well, Graham Horn was going across the field and Richard Horn went into the gap, and the referee got it right. He needs to straighten up if he's going to use the hands, but he didn't, and he went behind the support runner, and that really did let St Helens off. See there, Danny, it was his brother, and he's not happy. He knows that was a great field position at a vital period of the game.
There was a Wigan fan behind there as well who didn't seem too happy, which tells you a bit about what Wigan fans think about St Helens. They're cheering on Hull tonight. Here comes Anderson. Just held down. It's picked up by Roby from dummy half. Now Long, here's Price. Big moments before half-time. Leon Price with a break for the corner, and Leon Price with a big try. What a season he's had, and what a moment he's just delivered to his side. There are literally seconds to go to half-time, and the big game player delivers. Leon Price, man of the match in this game last year. Might have gone some way towards replicating that performance.
Yeah. Well, there's that was the error, but that doesn't show it because it was the push-up that was the error. Gave the field position, and unfortunately for Graham Horn, I believe it was him that missed the tackle on Leon Price there. Lovely little show and go on a left-hand fend, and he's just got the pace there. But there's the penalty. Let St Helens off the hook initially, and they don't need asking twice, these fellas. And look at the ball movement there, left to right. Price ball in two hands, in one. Fend with the left hand, then it's a foot raise, pins the ears back and just beats Sean Briscoe to the corner. That really is an international quality try there from Leon Price. Show and go, left hand fend, ball under the right arm, he's got pace, he's got the 4 points. Great try.
Moment to celebrate. Paul Sculthorpe is injured, of course, so he'd love to be out there tonight, but sadly he has to watch from the sidelines. Jamie Lyon, as Hull can only watch on. Good kick from Jamie Lyon, not missed this time. Absolutely spot on, and a hammer blow delivered by St Helens as the half-time hooter approaches. They lead by 10 points to 4.
What a first half game. It's been absolutely enthralling, and it was on a knife edge until a piece of absolute quality from Leon Price put the dampeners on all the Hull fans, all the Hull coaching staff, and everybody connect with them. But it was an absolute quality piece of play at the very death of the half to put St Helens 10 points to 4 in front, but there's plenty of rugby league left in this in the second half. Absolutely superb work here. Beautiful work, and it's that fend on Graham Horn. Just put him in the gap, and he wasn't looking to pass, he's looking to finish, and that's exactly what he did for a marvellous try.
So, a crucial score for Saints right on half-time, and no doubt their dressing room would have been the happier one during the break. Coach Daniel Anderson would certainly have been impressed with his team's dogged defensive effort against a Hull side that had been unlucky to score only once in the first half. Despite being the underdogs, Peter Sharp's men had more than held their own in a gripping encounter. Still plenty of optimism in the Hull ranks, and undoubtedly a great game for the neutrals to enjoy.
It all gets settled in the next 40 minutes, unless of course we go to extra time, which is a very real possibility in a game as tight as this. But St Helens crucially have that lead at half-time. They aren't a good side at coming from behind in the second half. 3 times out of 4 this season, when they have been trailing at half-time, they have gone on to lose the game. So it's a position they like to be in.
They do. They like to be in front, and the reason that they are in front is because they're so difficult to score points against. And I think that's been ably demonstrated in the first half.
Wait, go.
You get the feeling even now that perhaps Hull do have to score next.
Make it.
St Helens are a team who can build momentum very quickly as Long puts the kick downfield, and Briscoe with an easy take, but a little bit of a slip as well. Decent chase by Saints. Briscoe thought about the pass and then decided against it.
Yeah, it was a very good chase, that one. The kick a little indifferent. The fullback got in on the fly, but good work from Rayner. Again, that little short pass testing the middle of the St Helens defence, almost creating a gap for Richard Horne.
Well, it is expansive stuff at times, isn't it? This is not the kind of risk-free football that we sometimes see in finals, where teams tend to grind each other out. Tonight both sides have resorted to creativity as well and have taken a few risks at times. As Scott Wheeldon on the fifth tackle takes it reasonably deep inside the St Helens half. Here comes the kick. It will be Horne who just tries to plant it behind the line, but well read by Francis Melly. Well stopped by the whole line.
Yeah, good chase though, wasn't it? It made an indifferent kick into a good one simply because of the urgency of the chase and the organisation of it. So St Helens now, they've been thrown the gauntlet. Get yourself out of your own 20-metre zone.
Here's Roby still on the field. Talau. Roby again. Up at the acting half. It's a flat ball to Anderson. Tried to take it at some pace, but couldn't work his way through. Here's Hooper. Again, just falling into a tackle. There were some claims for a high shot from Dominic, but he was slipping. Here's Long.
Now that's a better kick from Sean Long. Found the grass there, and it's just pulling up just short of the goal line. Great kick and a very good chase as well.
Rayner's got some footwork to do here and can't find any of that fancy footwork to get through. So once more, hard yards needed from Hull FC to clear their lines. Big week for the City of Hull, of course. Kingston Rovers, who won the National League Grand Final last weekend, will be in Super League again next year. The return of the East Yorkshire derby, the Hull derby.
And it'll be a great derby as well. I'm sure it'll be a sellout at the KC, a 25,000 gate at the KC. I'm sure that Craven Park will be sold out for that particular game as well.
Swain kicks away, despite the little bump from Gilmore. Oh, and it's just going to trickle out of play. Didn't fancy it there, Melly.
Yeah.
Will be St Helens head and feet, though.
Good little tactic from Richard Swain there, getting out from dummy half. Just putting it behind Francis Melly.
No, you're not standing square, you're not setting square.
There's a famous face who knows his way around Old Trafford, of course. We are further now.
I better wish they'd let him watch the game.
You know what it's like when you're in demand for autographs and photographs. And it's Hooper for St Helens, who's inched it towards the 20-metre line. Bennett. There's not a lot of ground being made, is there, in these kind of short burst drives, because both defences are up quick and pretty sound in the tackle too.
Yeah, it's been excellent defensive work from both sides, it really hasn't. Carl Kirkpatrick's giving, you know, it's a good 10 metres that he's giving, but both sides working overtime in the defence with good work in the collision and very good speed of line, which is nullifying any go forward.
Here's Long again. Outside the 40-metre line as he kicks downfield. It's simply a kick to put Hull as deep as possible as they can. Briscoe sharp with a take and tries to escape as far forward as possible. Cunningham looking on, not long I'm sure before he's back on the field at some point.
It'll tend to be about 50-55 minute mark, David, and they'll leave Roby on as well, so they'll be playing with two dummy halves.
One with great strength and purpose, the other with great quickness. Sway. Just a buttering up stage of the game at the moment, isn't it? Both sides just trying to outmuscle the other down the middle. King slipped and picks himself up, but then he's tackled again quickly. There's a kick, came off the
well, he didn't charge it, that's played it. Oh, he needed to pick that up, Richard White, in, because I'm convinced that the St Helens player didn't play it, so that'll be Saints head and feed.
It is.
That's a good decision by the referee, but Richard White, he should have read that better. He did not play it, Graham. And when they don't play, it's the kicker who's deemed to be the last person who's struck at the ball. And so it's St Helens head and feet. So really, it's a mistake from White, and he should have got back there, picked the ball up and got back into the field of play.
Good header, by the way, from James Graham, who's an Everton fan. So David Moyes, if you are watching, it's not a bad touch from a rugby league prop forward. Feed by Price, picked up by Long, looking down the blind side. Hull had it covered. Now, this is an interesting set of 6 because instead of the to and fro of both sides trying to get out of their own half, suddenly St Helens have position here. The position that Paul Sculthorpe was talking about at half-time. Anderson put down. Roby picks up. It's back to Long. Long with his chance to move it expansively. Here's Wellens. Cut down by Cook, who's hanging on grimly. Back to Sean Long again. Bennett quickly away. Lyon tries to offload, finds Gardner. Gardner with a step! Pulled down by Graham Horn, and this is going to be the 6th tackle now, St Helens. They are poised. Long's kick. Out wide, Motu Tony underneath it, Melly underneath it. Melly's knock on. It'll be Hull who get the tap back on the 20.
Yeah, good challenge there, wasn't it, though? When the ball's in there, it's a 50-50. And he actually bet Motu Tony to the challenge, but he just could not reel it in.
Here is Tony. He's been playing wide for most of the night, hasn't he, Motu Tony? But Peter Sharp has employed him as a central figure as well at times this season.
I'm sure he'll be going to full-back at some stage, and Sean Brisk will be coming out here onto the right wing.
Well, that's lost. Fair and square. Play on, the referee says, and St Helens are quick to react. Price, neat play by him. Gilmore strides another couple of yards.
Yeah, you don't need to invite St Helens into good field position, because ultimately you get punished if you do that.
There's Hooper, and there's Cunningham, ready for his return.
It's 3 minutes early, Dave.
He's back on. It's Gilmore who's gone off to make way. Here's Wellens for St Helens. 7.5 minutes of the second half play. St Helens leading, and knowing that another score really would put them in a terrific comfort zone. Cunningham. Long. Bennett. He was on his injury problems this year and last, but he's back to full fitness, but he's well stopped by the whole defence. Cunningham behind Graham, not the best of balls. Roby does well to juggle it. Here comes Hooper, on to Tallow. Tallow with a score. How many times have we seen that? Just when it seemed to be going wrong for St Helens, they conjure something out of absolutely nothing. They turn a mistake into a moment of the sublime. St Helens have their 3rd try of the night, and is that the one that could prove decisive? St Helens in Wonderland. Willie Tallow, the scorer.
Well, again, you cannot invite St Helens into good field position, and that's exactly what Graham Horn did with that loose carry. Good collision by St Helens, forced the header, and then the ball's gone on the floor. And look, they just react. Everybody's working, everybody's pushing up. That's a lovely bit of skill from Hooper to get his arms free through the defensive line. Just watch Jason Hooper here. His arms become free through the defensive line, and he's got a player pushing up on the outside, and over he goes, Willie Tallow, for a very good try. Conjured up, as you rightly say, David, virtually out of nothing. But it's great skill. First of all, skill and presence of mind from Roby, then by Hooper, and a good finish at the end of it. And that's a great lead now for St Helens, 10 points.
Lyon would love to make the lead 12 points. And he just drifts it wide, though. Just drifts it wide. Not had the best kicking night tonight, Jamie Lyon. But St Helens lead, 14 points to 4.
They've not been easy kicks, though, Dave. But look at this, that's a skill. Hooper's got his arms free through the defensive line. Tallow's pushed up, and over he goes.
I think he might suspect that it might just be game over. Or are we talking too prematurely?
Too prematurely by far. 30 minutes left of a final, 10 points. All it is 2 scores.
This is Anderson. Couple of substitutions for Hull. Carvel and Dowes are back on.
Well, I think we'll see it better go forward once Gareth Carvel goes back out there.
Peter Sharp watching the game like a game of chess. Move and counter move. It's check at the moment, not quite checkmate in St Helens' favour as Price put down on the 5th. Here comes the 6th. Cunningham from acting half again. Wheels it away. Long has to change position. Good chase by Hull. It's play on. And Hooper gathers it. And that is another bonus for St Helens. It was played out by a Hull player on the way through.
Yeah, they went for the charge down, didn't they, Dave? And they actually played at the ball. So it wiped the slate clean. But Hooper's taken a heck of a knock, you know, from Sean Briscoe when he went down that loose ball.
These are really dangerous moments now for Hull because St Helens with that lead and suddenly are back in position. They could turn this game considerably in the next few moments. Cunningham. Graham on his outside, try to go himself, but he's hammered down. Roby at acting half. Leon Price down that blind side. Graham, good offload to Talau.
Good defence by Motu Tony as well. But they'll be looking for a good last tackle play, St Helens.
Here's a 6th. Long again. Has a look for the kick. There's a man very, very wide. Gardner all the way out there. Oh, has he got that? The referee's not sure. Gardner's convinced. I tell you, if this is a try, it's not just 4 points, it's a miracle.
He thinks it's a try, doesn't he? You can tell with his reaction.
How did he catch it? How did he catch it?
Well, it's a great kick from Sean Long. What he's done is tried to isolate Gareth Rayner. Put it virtually on his head so he doesn't get a jump at any height in the contest. That's what he's looking to do. Gardner's timed his run superbly. Fumble, fumble, fumble. Well, I don't know if he has got it. I don't know if he has got that one. I don't know if he had control to put the ball down.
Video referee's not taken too long over it, which normally suggests he's absolutely convinced.
Yes.
Stephen Presley pushes the button that says try. And it might just say St Helens Super League champions 2006. A.D. Gardner with a wonderful try. St Helens' lead now is considerable.
Well, I criticised that in the first half for not pushing up when Jamie Lyon made the break, but my word, you can't criticise that finish.
He's scored a few this season. This will be the most memorable.
And there it is there, the charge down from Gareth Carvel. Hooper's reaction sensational. His bravery there epitomised the St Helens cause, and that's a lovely piece of skill. And what about this for a bit of juggling? My word, and then reels it in at the very end. Actually on real time, Dave, it really does look as if it's a good try. That's a good call by the video referee, Mr. Presley, and it's a great try.
He's just having a sneaky look at himself on the big screen, I think, there. A.D. Gardner watching that score again. He'll see it a few more times over the next few days and weeks and months. Jamie Lyon, perfect, absolutely perfect with a kick this time. 2 out of 4 for him. It is now 20 points to St Helens, 4 to Hull. It is creeping ever more St Helens' way.
Yeah, it's the last tackle play. It's a quality one, isn't it, from Sean? He stood deep to give himself time, picks Gareth Rayner out, says A.D. Gardner, go for the contest, and he wins it.
Oh, he likes it, even on the replay. Here's a restart. Leon Price now with James Graham. First Scouser ever to play for Great Britain, James Graham. There's Kalis. Good offload as well in the tackle, and they're going again. Roby with his pace.
Well, that's St Helens. If they score a try, they don't look to play conservative. They look to put the hammer down and get another 4 points.
Cunningham. Bennett's well met.
Stand up! Stand up!
14 minutes of the second half gone. St Helens are sensing glory. 3 previous grand finals. They've won them all. Is this going to be 4 out of 4? Briscoe might have been guilty of a voluntary tackle there.
Yeah, he was making sure he stayed in the field of play, didn't he? But that's a great end to it. When you've just scored a try, to turn the ball over 3 or 4 metres away from your opposition try line, you'd be absolutely delighted with that for a set of 6.
Here's Motu Tony. Swain. Well, have to gamble now, don't they?
Yeah, they've got to start chancing their arm, but unfortunately if you chance your arm against St Helens and make headers in your own half, that's when you invite them into good field position and they punish you.
Well, they can't just let this opportunity slip by, Hull. They have to look at something fancy. Not just yet. Paul Cook on the 6 is forced to kick a long way downfield. It is a long way downfield. It's a good kick. And the chase still has plenty of enthusiasm about it yet too.
There's plenty of time, David. Records are made to be broken, and you know, why not break the record of the best ever grand final comeback?
It's going to take a big turnaround now, though, isn't it? 16 points against this St Helens side. They have to score 3 tries and 3 goals, and they cannot afford to concede again, Hull. That's the problem. Here's Graham. Some suggestions it was a little high, but Carl Kirkpatrick, the referee, was happy. Here's Cunningham. Ball back inside again.
He's been really effective, hasn't he, Kieran Cunningham, since he's come back on. They've got quick play the balls. He really has got Hull on the back foot.
Sean Long's little dinky chip that puts pressure on Rayner, but not enough because it rolls out of play. It'll be a tap back on the 20. A little hand up from Sean Long to apologise to his teammates. Didn't quite mean to hit it so far.
Yeah, his kicking game's been pretty good though, hasn't it, Dave? Been very, very accurate indeed.
It's going to be pretty vital in Great Britain's cause as well, isn't it, in the Tri-Nations?
There's a little offload. Shane McMenemy has indicated to his players, let's play a bit of football. You don't get in many grand finals, so let's not die wondering.
Carvel to his feet quickly. Peter Sharp looks on as Swain dashes away again. Just half slipping past the St Helens cover, but not past the shoulder of Jason Kalis. Here's Cook. Horn right up to the line. Radford through. Horn on the inside. Radford will take it as far as he can. And he just left Horn with too much to do in the end. Price with a cover, Wellens within final tackle. It's Cook who throws it long. Motu Tony has to backtrack, lost momentum, lost his tackler. Oh, and what a tackle in the end that just prevented him from getting in. Paul Wellens.
Sensational, Paul Wellens. That piece of defence was awesome, and it's Hull's penalty for offside.
Should have had a try there, they might still have it. Carvel over the line. Is he going to get it down? No, he's not. Referee decides he's shot anyway. It's Swain, it's Cook. Here's Richard Horn. St Helens are being stretched here. Briscoe wide, Yeeman ran out of space. Great cover again from Saints, from Sean Long this time. It's Rayner. Here's Swain. Washburn was the runner. Swain, nobody with him. Needed someone on his shoulder. Hull is still poised. Cook, what can he conjure up? High, long ball again. McMenemy stepping back. Hull need to score. They're going to be dragged down again.
Well, they are asking some questions, aren't they?
He's still battling away here, Dowes. And eventually he's pushed backwards.
Well, they are asking questions, but this Saints defence up to now has been up to it. Marvellous online defence.
McMenemy grabs at it. St Helens line comes out as one. McMenemy holds on, gets it away. Swain swings it on again. Richard Horn. Here it comes to Radford. Radford puts the kick in. Melly has to turn and chase. Motu Tony's after it. Melly just gets there first.
That's excellent attacking play from Hull. A great set of 6 there. Lots of different questions asked of the St Helens defensive line. But you've got to admire the St Helens online defence. They answered them. And that's great reaction to a very, very good kick from Lee Radford. And it all started with that little pass there, the little soft hand short pass that's cost St Helens some trouble. It was to Lee Radford that time. But Paul Wellens, you know, did superbly well as a fullback because he backed off and he bought himself a bit of time to make that cover tackle. He's absolutely sensational, that fella, he really is.
What about Leon Price's role in that as well, though? Because Wellens knew he had the confidence in Price to make the tackle.
He certainly did, but what he did, he came forward initially to Radford, then backed off, bought time, and he was always going to take the support player, as you rightly say, because he backed the pace of his covering defender.
Could be a pivotal time of the game, this. If Hull can get a try back in this next set, then suddenly it's game on and grand final on again. Here's Radford. They're testing them once more. Oh, he's knocked on. Has Sid done it? Just tried to force the pass. Lacked the composure. That's what the coaches talk about. Lacked the composure when it mattered.
Yeah, just didn't get a good enough carry on that ball there to get his hands free through the line. But it started with a McMenemy offload. That's what the coach feels. Error there, and chance got a begging when they've been under so much pressure. But that started with Shane McMenemy. Chances are with the offload. They've got to do more of that now, Hull. Make St Helens really work in defence.
Here's Long with a feed. Roby tries to shuffle it forward. Farsavalu is back on the field for St Helens. Jason Kalis, the man he's replaced. Cunningham. Here is Farsavalu. Fully rested, ready to make his big impact. Not quite had a big impact on the game so far, has he, Farsavalu?
Well, that's credit to Hull's defence, isn't it, really?
Cunningham. Farsavalu again, not quite in his stride this time as he took it on, but look at the strength there. Bundled two away, managed to keep the ball alive. Here's Wilkin, now Talau. There's a lot being asked of Melly here, but he's done well.
Did very well, straightened it up well there, and got some momentum going forward.
Talau to Long. Long's kick, just turning Briscoe and making Hull work from deep inside and take one or two chances like that, which has paid off this time. Rayner with a clearing run.
You've got to do it. It's no good in a final being close. You've got to win it to lose it, and that's great defence.
Big hit.
My word.
Big turnover. St Helens in position A. It's Price. Wilkin has to hold on. And having just lost a yard or two with taking the pass, has to take the tackle. Here's Graham. Steps off the right foot. Led by Carvel, who made the tackle. Here comes Cunningham. Short, flat ball. Farsavalu. Great ball back. Cunningham. He's like a little bull. Barges over. Has he got the touchdown? Referee is asking the question.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's any doubt about that, to tell you the truth. And you said that you didn't think Farsavalu had made much of an impact. Well, my word, it's not about impact here, because he's in there, takes some pulling down, spins the ball out of the back door, and that's a great finish from Cunningham. Kieran Cunningham, look how low he gets, look at the leg drive, look at the power generated, and for me, it's always going to ground that under control, and he has done. That's a definite try for me. Marvellous work there from both Farsavalu and Cunningham. End result?
Try St Helens. They are in complete control now. Kieran Cunningham with a trademark touchdown. Surely there's no stopping them now. And Peter Sharp, the Hull coach, probably knows that. What a servant Cunningham has been to his club in the last 12 years.
Well, that's what got them the try. That magnificent hit there, and it was Farsavalu in that. Then he's in this again. Bang, carry the ball, pop the offload out, and you ain't going to stop this fella from that distance. Just look how he really carries the ball aggressively, and then he's got the presence of mind just to pop it out the back door, and a great low finish from Cunningham. I think he knows.
Salute that tells a story.
And I think he knows as well, Dave.
There's a celebration that tells a story. He even got time to wink at the camera, Kieran Cunningham. Confident mood. Jamie Lyon chips away at Hull's confidence by adding another two. St Helens surely unstoppable. They lead now by 26 points to 4.
Super work, isn't it, from Farsavalu there. Hits the advantage line so flat, and then just pops the ball out the back door. And he's enjoyed it. My word, he has.
Short kickoff, looking for dividends, looking for something, but it's Cunningham who gets there first.
Yeah, well, they've got to, as we said, Dave, they've got to chance their arm.
This is Wilkin.
Make it to me. Wait.
You have to look at the route to the grand final to give you some clues as to what we're watching here tonight. St Helens, having finished first and having beaten Hull in their one playoff game, had 2 weeks off, 1 week either side.
And they haven't wasted it, have they?
No, they prepared well. Hull, of course, had a big game against Bradford just 7 days ago.
Oh, stand up.
And maybe the toil and tiring nature of that match is taking its toll now. Long with a short ball.
Well, the loss. Make it, fellas. Come on. Well done.
Scrambles back to his feet. It's six tackle here. Cunningham is going for a drop goal. It's a whole player. Referee says play on. And it's back in the hands of Carvel.
No penalties. Hold. Wait.
I think
Go.
Saints realise they've got this game won.
Two.
It's important though for Hull that they keep working hard, because they've worked hard all season and the reward has been this. But they don't want to let themselves down now with a big deficit. 22 points is already a sizable one in a final. They don't want to make it anymore.
Well, another couple of tries and goals for St Helens would give them a record score. Bradford hit Wigan with 37 5 years ago in 2001, 37-6 they won. Here's Motu Tony. So another couple of tries and goals and St Helens would break that record. Hull are not thinking about that at the moment. They're thinking if there's a way back. Just couldn't.
Trying too hard, I think, there, Sid Domick.
Didn't quite bounce the way he wanted it to.
As soon as you start going individual rather than unit, that's when you know that you're in trouble, and that was a play for himself, unfortunately, Sid Domick.
72,575 here tonight. It's a new grand final record. It's a spectacular scene, and they've enjoyed a wonderful match.
Surrender one. Make it. Wait. Go.
Just gets bigger and better every year, this occasion. Here's Helens.
Surrender two. Make
Literally
the line.
and figuratively.
Hold. Go.
Cunningham. Farsavalou.
He's a bull of a man, isn't he, that fella? He really is.
Wait. Don't go. Well done.
Cunningham again. Here's Wilkin. Just trying to shake free the attentions of the Hull defenders, and he's through. Price in support. Horn had him covered.
Great work from Richard Helm there, else it'd have been another 4 points, but they've played the ball quickly.
Look how quick they are here. Melly, little step. Oh, Long was begging for it.
Yeah, but Briscoe wrapped his arms up. Good full-back play again.
Talau, now Long, back in position. Puts the kick in. Too deep is it? Yes, it is. Another hand of apology from Sean Long.
Exciting play there, wasn't it, from St Helens? The finish there wasn't the best, but the passage of play leading up to it was very good play indeed.
No one. Stand up. Make the turn.
Here's Sway. St Helens defending resolutely, as they have done all season.
Wait.
You think of St Helens and you think of that champagne style of playing rugby league, of throwing the ball about and taking risks and entertaining.
Well,
but this year they've been really good in defence as well, and that's why they force errors like that.
Yeah, they have. They've been very aggressive, very muscular in defence. And when they get numbers in the tackle, as they did do there, you force errors. But it's been Hull with the errors in the second half, hasn't it, Dave? And that's given St Helens a field position. And my word, have they punished them.
Put your head in.
It's Leon Price who's feeding the scrum. Sean Long is just walking away from it. Almost disinterested.
Make the turn.
Sure, that's not the case.
And I think it'll be a set play from this scrum.
Here's Roby. Trying to spring at them. Cause them a few problems with his sheer pace off the mark. Wilkin again now. Just burrowing his way forward.
Stand up.
Cunningham.
Wait.
Wants it played quickly. Isn't going to be as quick as he would have liked. Behind Farsavalou, taken by Long. Out wide to Price, back to Gilmore. Almost more electrifying stuff from St Helens, but it didn't quite stick in the hands of Lee Gilmore this time.
Good defence though from Yeaman.
On the cross, boys.
He really came out of the line. He read it was the pass to the man round the back.
There's the bird's eye view of Peter Sharp and Daniel Anderson. They're not too far apart, the two coaches, in geographical terms, but in terms of emotions, they are light years apart at the moment.
Surrender one. Make the turn.
Briscoe. Hull are still trying. There's still a real effort.
Two. Hold.
But it's just not enough.
Go.
They found themselves up against a very, very good St Helens side. Taken forward by Carvel.
Right. Make the turn.
Lost.
Got a call there.
Referee's looking to his touch judges and has given the penalty Hull's way. Decided there was a steal in there. Not sure Daniel Anderson's convinced.
Well, there was all sorts going on in there, David, so...
Early.
the safest option is just replace Gareth Carvel with Paul King. I think he's had an immense game as Carvel, you know. The best whole forward for me.
Let's go, fellas. Let's go.
Paul Cook's kick finds touch midway inside the St Helens half. McMenemy. Good strong effort by him. This is Swain to Paul Cook. It's Richard Horne. It's Briscoe. Price just re-establishing his position in the defensive line to make the tackle.
Yeah, good work as a unit, St Helens there. That defensive line was perfect.
King.
Played it, that as Wilkin for me.
Another 6, is it? Yes, it is. Referee says it's back to the first tackle here. So that's the 0 tackle. Here we go. Set of 6 starts here. Picked up by Swain. Testing the line. Here comes Richard Horne. Great play by Horne. Another immense tackle by Paul Wellens. Unbelievable.
What a game he's had.
He had no right to stop him. Hull still goes searching. Domic. It was Melly this time who made the tackle. Here comes Motu Tony. Back to Paul Cook. Richard Horne over the top, out wide, McMenemy. Now they have numbers. Yeaman quickly on. Rayner's left it behind. Not going to be your night, Peter.
No.
Nor yours, Gareth.
He knows that was a chance there, Gareth Rayner. The pass just wasn't good enough. The 3v2, and Kurt Yeaman's pass just was not good enough to his wingman there. It was dipping, it should have been right on the button into the breadbasket.
It's the expression of the night from Hull FC's point of view. Exasperation. Well, that's untidy.
Knock on.
Yep.
That's the 6-man shove there. And it forced the St Helens scrum backwards, and it forced the knock on.
And it means that they set the scrum again, but this time it will be Hull who get their head and feed, and barring any similar handling errors, a chance to attack this St Helens line. Kirkpatrick just settling the 2 packs before he allows them to come together. There's Washbrook, one of the many Hull-born youngsters in this whole lineup. Sway, who's a Kiwi. Here's Richard Horne. Now Gareth Rayner has come a long way to search out for a bit of glory. Oh, Domic's let it slip through his hands. He's just having a bit of a nightmare at the moment, Sid Domic.
Yeah, I think he's trying too hard. I think he realises that he's probably got another year in Super League, and you don't get many finals to play in, and when you do play in them, you want to make sure you've given it a great shot, and that's what he's doing, but I think he's just a little too anxious.
Cunningham, up he gets and away he goes, and has a look. He seems to have all the time in the world before eventually he decides I'll put the shoulder into the tackle. And now the young understudy Roby is standing at half-back. This is long. Again, another morale-sapping. Well, it would have been a morale-sapping kick from Long had it been where he wanted it to be, but it's thrown out on the full.
I feel he's just lost concentration, you know. I really do. I'll tell you what, Paul Wellens has been immense. Absolutely immense, hasn't he?
We've got about 8 minutes to play in this grand final. And St Helens are looking very, very comfortable at the moment. Just absorbing this potential late pressure from Hull FC, but Motu Tony cannot find a way through. Radford on again to Cook. Cook goes wide. St Helens' defensive line is still working very, very hard.
Make it.
Here's Swain up at dummy half. Picks it up again now. King on the charge. Takes it in and he's put down once more. St Helens make the tackle, working so efficiently here. Up, make the tackle, get back the 10. Keep your opponent stifled, utterly stifled in midfield. Give them no opportunities at all. This is Cook, goes on the reverse kick, Briscoe's after it.
And look who's there. It's inevitable, isn't it? If there's any danger, just look to Paul Wellens because he's going to diffuse it. He's been absolutely sensational. His full-back play has been exemplary.
Well, the game is won. 6.5 minutes to go. Contest over, but you still just have to admire the utter professionalism of St Helens.
Oh, you certainly do. It means a great deal, doesn't it? Keep them to just that one score, that 4 points on the board, and it's a fair old effort, is that?
The standards they've set this season all year have been immense, and they've carried them right through to this final tonight.
Make the line! Make the line!
They've done all the damage. It's back with Wilkin.
Play on!
Wilkin's good kick, skids out of play.
Yeah, they put the cue on the rack, I think, St Helens, and say, we'll just put it out of play, walk to the scrum, job done, game won, Super League champions.
Scott Wheeldon is coming on for Hull, or has just come on.
Stay tidy! Stay tidy!
It was Ewan Dowers who went off.
Tight heads! Come on! Come on!
And nice to see in back play as well there that Paul Anderson's returning, so he'll finish his career on a high, won't he?
Yeah, a few emotions going around amongst one or two of the players here tonight. Paul Anderson playing his last ever game. Unless, of course, there's some kind of crisis at Huddersfield next year where he's going as an assistant coach that draws him out of retirement, but I think tonight will be his last ever game. And Jamie Lyon, of course, the St Helens centre, who's on his way back to Australia after this contest tonight, after 2 wonderful seasons in the English Super League.
Yeah, he's been super to watch, hasn't he, Jamie Lyon? But I think teams are patrolling better this season, you know, Dave.
King away to Briscoe. Briscoe took on the line, out to Radford. Radford to Motu Tony. Tony with a chip. Wellens couldn't get there, and neither could Tony. Just bounced away beyond the dead ball.
Yeah, great effort there from the Kiwi, but I think he may well have injured his knee, Motu Tony.
Collided with the advertising hoardings, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Which is always a problem, of course.
And on he goes, Paul Anderson. What a great way to finish your career, isn't it? 5 minutes to go. You know the game's won. It's a grand final. There's Motu Tony's valiant and courageous effort. But you're out there, and you've got 5 minutes to enjoy your career end and go off as a champion, a clean sweep champion, Challenge Cup winners, league leaders title, and now Super League champions.
1 or 2 great names have finished their careers on a high on this stage, haven't they? Jimmy Lowe's immediately comes to mind, the Bradford hooker who scored a try in his last ever performance at this ground in a grand final. I wonder if Paul Anderson is going to get on the score sheet tonight for St Helens. Sean Long kicks it away. Out it goes. And back it comes. Well, it's the time of the night where the man of the match, the Harry Sunderland Trophy, is thought about and selected, and we have a winner. Paul Wellens has completed a real clean sweep for him this season. He was the man of steel, he was the Players' Player of the Year, and now he's got the Harry Sunderland Man of the Match award in this match tonight.
And he really deserves it. Careless there, injured. They're going to finish with 12 men, St Helens, but it matters not.
Here's the ball out to this right-hand side where it's collected by Whiting. No way through from him.
He's injured Jason Careless, but Paul Wellens has been absolutely immense. It's been a pleasure to watch all season, and not coach against, but to watch.
McMenemy, out it goes. Yeoman with a kick. Wellens, smothered. Job done. Full back play at its best again.
Right on cue, wasn't it?
You know, he's not the quickest.
He is in thought. He might not be physically, but he certainly is in thought. He reads this game so well indeed. His rugby league brain is second to none.
If he had another couple of yards of pace, he would be an absolute living legend, wouldn't he? I mean, as it is,
well, into that player nowadays.
It's pretty good as it stands. This is Gilmore. St Helens just trying to batter it away now. Watching the clock run down. 2.5 minutes left. St Helens are 2.5 minutes away from their 4th grand final victory. 99, 2000, 2002. And now add 2006 to the list. Every time they get here, they win it. That's their impressive record. And that's a huge kick from Leon Price. But it's well covered by Gareth Rayner eventually.
They did well, did Rayner there. Because it would have been a 40-20.
Briscoe. 2 minutes to go. As Briscoe goes down.
Yeah, I think this will be the last time Hull get the ball, and St Helens will obviously have 1 set left.
What can they do with it? The game went a long time ago, but they're looking to salvage a little bit of pride here, Hull FC. Get more points on the board.
Try and make the 10 for once.
McMenemy shuffling away from dummy half again. Horn juggles, kept alive.
Well, the last, come on.
Tackle is made by Tallow on Graham Horn. McMenemy again. He's worked hard tonight. Richard Horn. Swain puts the kick on. Kick and hope. Swain against Wellens, but the ball beats them both.
Yeah, they patrolled it really well. Both Wellens and Lyon in cover. They were between Richard Swain, who'd kicked the ball, and the ball itself.
Minute to play, minute of the season left here, John Keir. The domestic season, the international season rolls on, of course, with the Tri-Nations down under. But what about this?
Well,
St Helens night, St Helens season.
It certainly has, and that's what this year will go down as St Helens season. They've been absolutely immense. It's been like St Helens and then the rest. And I think they've just confirmed it with this comprehensive victory tonight. An outstanding Challenge Cup victory. They won the Super League by, I think it was 8 clear points. And then they've come away with a 26 points to 4 victory in the grand final. Absolutely outstanding rugby league team.
Well, they're just rolling on here. You'll hear the countdown in a few moments. The ball's out of play, that will be it. Peter Sharp has done well to steer his side into a grand final, but he could not take them any further. Victory has eluded them. They've come up against a St Helens team who are simply too good. Simply too good for the rest. Daniel Anderson and his players have had an immense season, and they finished on an absolute high here tonight at Old Trafford. Paul Anderson's career is over, and it couldn't have finished in a better way for the big man. Oh, he loves it. St Helens have been superb tonight. They thoroughly deserve all the accolades. They have won here by 26 points to 4. Celebrations will carry on for an awful long time. It'll be a long while before you get these players off the pitch and into the dressing rooms. We've still got the presentation, of course, as well. But what a night. The contest really disappeared 8 minutes into the second half when Willie Tallow got the try that made it 14-4. That 10-point gap was always going to be too much. What a year it's been for Paul Wellens, the St Helens fullback. It's been phenomenal for him. Man of Steel, Players' Player of the Year, and now Harry Sunderland Trophy winner as well, and the man of the match in this grand final. He has been terrific all year. Well, there always has to be a losing side on a night like this, and tonight it has to be Hull. But they've had quite a year too, climbing into the grand final for the first time in their history. A year after they won the Challenge Cup, of course, last year at Cardiff. They are a young team with plenty of local blood in it as well, and you feel that this really is a side for the future. They will probably be back. There's Kazakhstan's #1 Hull FC fan, apparently. St Helens fans rise as one to acclaim their heroes. Maury Fassavalu, Jamie Lyon, the first step up the steps. Paul Wellens up there as well, still clutching his man of the match trophy. Paul Anderson walks through too. Here comes Fassavalu and Hooper, Jamie Lyon, John Wilkett. What a season he's had as well. Michael Bennett tonight will have capped a Good comeback for him from that injury nightmare he had. James Roby, he's a real star of the future. It's a team that goes into history. The Challenge Cup, the League Leaders' Shield, and now the Super League trophy itself. It is a clean sweep for a vintage side. St Helens are the side of 2006. They have entertained us royally throughout the year, and they thoroughly deserve this moment in the spotlight. What a year, the year of the Saints. Comprehensive winners of everything they could lay their hands on.